Awesome. So we have time for questions. Let's start right there.
Hi, Kate. Thanks for the great talk. So you mentioned that it's possible that some of this radio emission can show up months or years after the event. So I'm curious if there is any way to predict if and when the radio emission will show up based on observations that immediately follow the event.
Yeah, that's a great question. I think the most important thing that helps constrain this is the inclination angle of the system from the gravitational wave signal. This is because, we expect the earliest radio counterpart to come from the afterglow of a jet, if there is one, and that's going to be more delayed the further off axis the jet is. Now, it doesn't tell you exactly because there's still a lot of free parameters in this synchrotron modeling. So you still really do need to do a search that's fairly broad in time. But that at least sort of gives you a rough idea of if you need to be scrambling to the telescope right now because it's viewed nearly on axis, or if you can be a little more relaxed and wait a month and take some time. So yeah, but you really, one of the things is we are going to really need programs that span a long duration of time as opposed to the, semester by semester way we often do time allocation committees. So I think some of the ongoing all sky surveys that these radio telescopes are doing anyway may be beneficial for picking these things up.
Any other questions? You all the way in the back.
Thank you. This was maybe more of a political question than a scientific question. With things like these pointed galaxy targeted, is there any information happening in the community so that 3 facilities all being on the same each other?
Yeah, it's a great question. And we definitely should be coordinating. I think the radio community is smaller than the optical community. So far it's kind of that has happened at the time allocation level. It'll sort of be like one team has time on this telescope, and the VLA is really the best telescope by far to do this in the Northern Hemisphere. So whoever has the program does it there, and whoever has the telescope time in the South can cover the Southern sky. I do think tools like Treasure Map are going to be, potentially very useful for coordinating, radio follow-up as well as optical follow-up as this community gets larger and as these new telescopes come online and we start doing more searches like this.
Awesome. I think that's all we have time for. So